Good morning, lovely children. How are you all? I hope you all are good and studying properly. Welcome to your social science class with your teacher Jyoti Arya. Well, in today's class, children, we are going to read chapter number 3 from your civics book, that is, What is a Government? So, without wasting the time, let's start with our chapter.
What is government? You have heard people talk about government and politics. But what does that mean? Let's back up a bit. First, what is a country? Like our India is one of the greatest among them. A country has borders that define what land is part of the country. The people in a country usually have many things in common, which means they do things mostly the same way, like language or religion, but not always or everywhere. And there are many others. We say the people of a country make up the society of that country. People in a society generally want to help each other and cooperate, but not always. Some people, some of the time, commit crime, like they hurt, rob, or cheat others. And even very nice people can get into disputes or disagreements that are very hard to settle. A whole society or the people of a country can face invasion, where other people come in and fight to take over the country. Societies face some other problems too, like crime, disputes, poverty, and poor education are such social problems. To solve such problems for the whole country, like war, some people are given authority. Society agrees to let people in authority, punish criminals, resolve disputes, fight wars, and take the people's money called taxes. For all these things, when I was a child, I was very puzzled by these words such as government and politics. But now maybe I can help you to understand. So, a government is the people with power. The people given authority over other people are who we mean by government. And politics is everything we do to get the power of government or to help others get that power. Let's discuss the chapter in detail. Our government. Children, as you know, India is a huge country. It is not possible for a single government to look after the entire country properly. So, the Indian government works at different levels. At the local level, at the level of the state, and at the national level. The local level refers to your village, town, or locality. The state level covers an entire state like Punjab, Kerala, Bihar, etc. The national level refers to the entire country. When the government works at different levels, it brings the government closer to the people. Thus, our government consists of a central or union government for the entire country. It is based in the capital, Delhi. Number 2, state governments. For the different states, they are based in the state capitals. Number 3, local government. For the governance of the immediate community, urban areas are governed by municipal corporations or municipal councils, and rural areas are governed by Panchayati Raj institutions such as the Zilla Parishad and Gram Panchayat. Laws and the government. The government makes laws and everyone who lives in the country has to follow these. This is the only way governments can function. Just like the government has the power to make decisions, similarly, it has the power to enforce its decisions. For example, children, there is a law that says that all persons driving a motor vehicle must have a license. Any person caught driving a vehicle without a license can either be jailed or fined a large sum of money. Without these laws, the government's power to make decisions is not of much use. In addition to any actions that governments can take, there are also steps that people can take if they feel that a particular law is not being followed. If a person feels that they were not hired for a job because of their religion or caste, he or she may approach the court and claim that the law is not being followed. The court can then give orders about what should be done. Let's discuss types of government. Well, children, who gives the government this power to make decisions and enforce laws? Well, the answer to this question depends on the type of government there is in a country. In a democracy, it is the people who give the government this power. They do this through elections in which they vote for a particular person and elect him. Once elected, these persons from the government. In a democracy, the government has to explain its action and defend its decision to the people. Another form of the government is monarchy. The monarch means king or queen has the power to make decisions and run the government. The monarchy may have a small group of people to discuss matters with, but the final decision-making power remains with the monarch. Unlike in a democracy, kings and queens do not have to explain their actions or defend the decisions they take. Democratic governments. India is a democracy. This achievement is the result of a long, eventful struggle of the Indian people. There are other places in the world where people have also struggled to have democracies. You know now that the main feature of a democracy is that people have the power to elect their leaders. So, in a sense, a democracy is ruled by the people. The basic idea is that people rule themselves by participating in the making of these rules. Democratic governments in our times are usually referred to as representative democracies. In representative democracies, people do not participate directly, but instead choose their representatives through an election process. These representatives meet and make decisions for the entire population. These days, a government cannot call itself democratic unless it allows what is known as universal adult franchise. This means that all adults who are 18 years and above in the country are allowed to vote. But it was not always like this. Can you believe that there was a time when governments did not allow women and the poor to participate in the elections? In their earliest forms, governments allowed only men who owned property and were educated. This meant that women, the poor, the propertyless, and the uneducated were not allowed to vote. The country was governed by the rules and regulations that these few men made. In India, before independence, only a small minority was allowed to vote, and they therefore came together to determine the fate of the majority. Several people, including Gandhiji, were shocked at the unfairness of this practice and demanded that all adults have the right to vote. This is known as Universal Adult Franchisee. Writing in the journal Young India in 1931, Gandhiji said, "I cannot possibly bear the idea that a man who has not got wealth should have the vote, but that a man who has got character but no wealth or literacy should have no vote, or that a man who works honestly by the sweat of his brow day in and day out should not have the vote for the crime of being a poor man."
I hope the chapter is clear to everybody. Still, to make it more clear, just read the chapter thoroughly and underline the difficult words and lines. So, till then, take care. Goodbye, children.